Chapter 2: The Betting Pool. 6 months into the observation mission, something unexpected happened aboard the Meridian. The crew stopped being bored. This was not mentioned in any official report. The Galactic Survey Authority had very strict guidelines regarding scientific neutrality. Observers were expected to maintain emotional distance from the subjects being studied. Curiosity was acceptable. Interest was acceptable. Entertainment was not. Unfortunately, humanity was proving difficult to observe scientifically without becoming entertaining. The first sign of trouble came from the observation chamber. Chief Engineer Korv was standing in front of a holographic display showing a human launch vehicle. He looked at the data for several seconds. Then he made a prediction. 42 seconds. Dr. Selen looked up from her research. 42 seconds until what? Structural failure. She frowned. You believe the vehicle will fail? No. Korv pointed at the screen. I believe the vehicle will discover a new and creative way to fail. Analyst Vera turned her chair toward them. Is that an engineering assessment? Yes. A scientific calculation? Yes. A guess. Korv paused. An extremely educated guess. Captain Terv entered the room just as the countdown began. He immediately noticed something unusual. The crew was gathered around the display. Several officers were holding small data tablets. The captain narrowed his eyes. What is happening? Silence. Everyone looked away. Terv looked at Korv. Engineer. Korv stood straight. Captain, why are 12 members of my scientific crew monitoring a human launch with personal data sheets? A long pause. Finally, Vera answered. We are conducting probability analysis. Terv looked at the tablets, then at the launch vehicle, then back at the crew. Probability analysis. Yes. Of. Another pause. Failure conditions. The captain sighed. Of course. The countdown reached 0. The engines ignited. The human rocket rose from the planet's surface in a cloud of fire and smoke. For several seconds, everyone watched silently. The vehicle climbed higher. Korv checked his tablet. Interesting. Selen glanced at him. You were wrong. No, the engineer pointed. It has survived longer than expected. A few seconds later, alarms appeared on the human broadcast. The rocket began to lose control. The crew watched. 5 seconds. 10 seconds. 20 seconds. Then the vehicle broke apart in a spectacular explosion. The observation chamber remained silent. Finally, Vera looked at Korv. You predicted that? Yes. Exactly. Korv shook his head. No. He looked slightly disappointed. I predicted a more impressive failure. Captain Terv stared at his crew. You are enjoying this? Nobody answered. Which was an answer. Over the following weeks, the situation became worse. Or depending on perspective, much more interesting. The crew created what they called the Human Launch Prediction Pool. Officially, it was a statistical exercise. Unofficially, it was gambling. The categories became increasingly specific. Time until first anomaly. Most likely component to fail. Number of emergency statements before mission termination. Probability of engineers claiming the test was successful, despite the vehicle no longer existing. Captain Terv discovered the pool after finding a report titled Probability Distribution of Human Engineering Disasters. He opened it. The first page contained graphs. The second page contained equations. The third page contained a ranking system. At the bottom was a note. "This is for scientific purposes only." The captain stared at the document, then slowly closed it. He decided he did not want to know. One day, while reviewing human aerospace companies, Korv noticed an unusual pattern. "Interesting." Selen looked over. "What?" "This organization." He displayed a series of launch records. "They have a very unusual statistical profile." Vera moved closer. "Are they unsuccessful?" Korv considered the question carefully. "No. They have many failed launches." "Yes. Then why are they not considered unsuccessful?" Korv enlarged the data. "Because after every failure, they modify the design and attempt another launch." Selen studied the information. "They intentionally continue." "Yes. That is inefficient." Korv nodded. "That was my initial conclusion." He paused. "Then I studied the results. And..." The engineer looked uncomfortable. "They improve." Nobody spoke, because that was the strange part. The humans were failing. Repeatedly. Publicly. Sometimes spectacularly. And yet somehow, the failures were making them better. A few days later, another launch attempt appeared on the human networks. The entire crew gathered again. Captain Terv entered the observation chamber. He looked at the assembled scientists. Nobody moved. The captain looked at the screen, then at Korv. Another prediction exercise. "No, Captain." "Good." A pause. "Then what are you doing?" Korv answered calmly. "Research." Terv looked suspicious. "What kind of research?" Korv pointed at the launch vehicle. "Understanding human persistence." The rocket launched. The crew watched. This time, the vehicle performed better. It reached its objective. The observation chamber remained silent. Then Vera smiled. "They succeeded." Korv nodded slowly. "Yes." Selen looked at him. "You sound disappointed." The engineer immediately corrected himself. "No." Another pause. "Perhaps slightly." The captain shook his head. "I cannot believe I am saying this." Everyone looked at him. "But I believe we are beginning to understand them." Later that day, the official mission report was updated. Previous entry: human technological progress, moderate. New entry: human technological progress, unpredictable. Additional note: the species demonstrates an unusual relationship with failure. They do not appear to interpret unsuccessful experiments as reasons to stop. A final comment was added by analyst Vera. Recommendation: continue observation. Humanity may not be the fastest developing civilization we have studied. However, it may be the most difficult to predict. The crew thought they understood humans now. They were wrong, because humanity was preparing its next experiment. And this time, the aliens were going to witness something even more confusing. Humans were about to build a machine designed to leave their planet forever. And according to the early test data, they had absolutely no idea if it would work.